in. This is the weekend update presented by Coolbet. And as you can see, we brought another friend from Coolbet.
Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose.
Okay, we are live. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we were a little bit too focused on watching how this game was kind of breaking down the countdown. There's a bunch of crazy Montreal fans, but
you had to do a little bit of screaming in the mic, right? So we had to give you a second or two there.
We'll get to that. We're live on Twitch. We're live on not Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. I don't know if I missed one. We got lots of stuff to talk about. We got football. We got baseball. Obviously, we got hockey. Usually I would shoot it around and say, actually, you know what? Before I'm gonna start with Coolbet. I'm gonna keep my composure. We're gonna start with Coolbet. We are always presented by Coolbet. Usually we're weekend update. Today this is the starting line. You know, nice little idea from Kalen. Our first bet that we want to give you for the day is this is a parlay, the Golden Knights money line and Chris Paul to be over 17.5 points. It's plus 239. Already went and hit that with a sledgehammer, so we can go ahead and do that. But boys, how we feeling now that I got that out of the way?
Great. Sun shining. We're getting closer to the weekend. Every day is one more day closer to the start of football too. So
Chad's working on his hockey stream over there, so give him a second. So while Chad's working on his hockey stream over there, why don't I jump back in here for a second? Because we were obviously going to talk about my boy David Dacastro getting released today. And the Steelers do not ever pull any punches when it comes to releasing somebody. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Usually they do it a year before the person's about to retire. I think we've seen the last of David Dacastro. But they went out and got Trey Turner about 10 minutes ago. I don't know if we have any contract details on that.
Just a one year. That's all we know so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't pay the bills, so I really don't care. So anybody that can come in and shore up the offensive line and make them not suck as much as they did last year, that's ideal. So,
well, you're getting a good replacement, man.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get Trey Turner and maybe a guy like Castro bounces around and, he doesn't find another home spot and he comes back for the league minimum. But, what'd you guys think when Castro got released?
Oof. When I saw it, I was ready to rub it in a little bit because I thought, my God, that line is getting weaker than it already was. And, of course, like you said, Steelers don't often make any kind of calls like that unless they got a backup plan in place. So in comes Trey Turner. Damn.
Well, when you are a franchise that doesn't need to change your uniforms every 2 years to stay relevant, you know how to make good personnel decisions, and the Steelers have always been both of those things. Chad, are you back with us?
I was back the whole time. I was just checking on her Facebook to make sure it was working. So,
all right, my man.
I was trying to be tech guy, Chad. It's my side hustle. I unplugged it and plugged it back in. The Castro thing. First off, like Shane said, like I've kind of got to know the Steelers more since being your friend because that's all you talk about.
That's not true. No,
it's true. It's like he talks about the Jays sometimes, but mostly just the Steelers. But yeah, long story short, he's been very clear, and I've noticed it since then, is you guys are really good at knowing when the guys are on the back nine of their career. So when I did see that he got cut, I was like, oh, it must be time. He was there, he was a Pro Bowl player. I think he was a couple years All-Pro, battled some injuries. And obviously if he's lost a step and he can't move the way he moved, it makes sense with the paycheck that he would have had to get. So I trust the Steelers. I trust their front office, just more or less from watching the last couple of years, being your friend. Pay attention to them a bit more, and they usually don't make bad mistakes when it comes to cutting players.
Right.
A guy might go on and have a year or two, that's good, but it's not going to, the longevity of that is not going to come back and backfire against you. So, as far as your head office goes, I'm with them on this one. They usually don't make these mistakes, so.
Right, yeah. They don't make the mistakes, and Dacastro was released with it's called a non-football related injury. So
his ankle all messed up or something, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of messed up last year, and this has kind of been an ongoing thing. And in my opinion, he was a great player, and not all great players turn into Tom Brady. Not everyone can be as disciplined and not eat tomatoes in the off season as Tom Brady can. And that, hey, it's just the way it is, boys. It's just the way it is.
You can compare him to somebody like Hutchinson or something, some kind of legendary guard instead of a legendary quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we're going to keep talking about this, but as I'm looking at my TV over there, they were just showing the crowd in Montreal, and I'll bet you there's like 5,000 people just kind of like stuffed into one little square there. Like not even inside the building on the outside.
And then there's like the 6 kids dancing in the square still.
I don't know. They look like they're having a lot more fun than we are. I can tell you that much. I mean,
we're almost there, man.
I'm about to turn it up a notch here, but like, okay, so we got the Steelers out of the way here. So here's what we were actually going to lead off with, and I saw this one yesterday. I was like, "Whew, this is something that I'm going to talk to the boys about." Tight end university.
Yeah. Now,
I don't know a lot of the details, and I didn't read into it. I know Chad probably did because I could see like this being something that would really like interest Chad. But if you were, well, you know what? Chad. Have you read into this?
I'm a junkie, right in the veins, man.
So yeah, tell us a little bit more about. I was about to ask a question, but why don't you tell us about it a little bit more before I ask
your question first?
Well, if you were the GM of, say, the Chiefs or the 49ers, how do you feel about your best piece going out there to share his knowledge and his secrets with the rest of these guys that are essentially like, some of them are going to be bums?
So yeah, the one thing I look at it and like a lot of, I know like Nick Saban says this all the time. He's like, give away your best material for free. Gary Vee says the same thing, because when you do that, you remember, like, if Kittle's going out there doing his thing, Kelsey's going out there doing his thing, Kyle Pitts is a new guy in the league, he's going to take those hints. But I guarantee you, and then the way the new offenses are, they're more college based. Like, they're going to learn just as much from him as they are from him, or he will from them. Every position does this. Like, it started off with DeMarcus Ware started doing it back for the defensive linemen, and they were talking about different like tackles and stuff and how they were getting beat by them. And they were talking about different ways to beat them and beat the offensive linemen. But then the offensive line was like, well, what the fuck is this? So then they had the O-line conference.
Yeah.
And like you see different receivers working out together all the time. And I'm a firm believer in iron sharpens iron. Like, you're not one of these guys is dumb enough to go out there and give away their team secrets.
Yeah.
It's more or less like, if it's gonna be like, if you see your safety do this, think about doing this. If you see the linebacker do this, you see the edge rusher with his hand in the dirt and he's moved outside one step outside on you. It's just giving them little pointers, right? It's just sharing that information across the board. I have no problem with this. I'm excited of it, like being a football coach. Like, I think it's really cool that the guys are doing this, and it almost like it's putting more, like, they're putting more work in their craft.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, they're coming back to my team a better player.
And you said craft there for a second. So do you think that Bill Belichick is filming this?
100%. Well, I think he has 2 tight ends there, so they're probably wearing a wire for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't let those guys in.
Yeah, John, who showed up. Hunter Henry didn't go, I don't think. That's weird.
He probably wasn't invited.
Yeah. I'm totally down with it. And in my opinion, I know a lot of people think that along like the line that the center is the smartest player, and I'm going to totally agree with that. I think right now the tight ends are used so different now and there's such a niche position now that I think that this is perfect to like learn from somebody like Kelsey. Like Chad said, learn how to make a break off of a linebacker when he breaks a certain way, right? Or, I mean, Kelsey didn't learn how to become a blocker overnight. I'm sure he got some help from some people. He was not known as a blocker his early years in the league, and he's definitely gotten much better as he's gotten to his later half of his career. So that's another thing that you can certainly learn from other tight ends who know how to block properly, right? And it's really hard to teach run blocking well, especially when like linemen can teach it, but it's different as a tight end. It's different way out there, that far out sometimes, right? So I think that's an imperative thing to learn in a camp like this. And so I'm all for it. Now, I don't think the coaches are going to like it. You get injured off site. There's that thing again we just talked about. It was like 6 weeks ago with the lineman there, John Williams, right? So I don't know. Is it worth the risk? Some coaches are totally going to be dying. Andy Reid, down for it. He's an offensive guru. Go.
Well, yeah,
Do it.
he's probably the one that got them going on this. Do you think that Shannon Sharp had anything to do with this until about 8 weeks ago when he went and boned Julio Jones?
Did you?
Yeah,
I honestly don't even know. Has he really taken a hit as far as his communication with the players or anything? Nobody really has really. I know there a couple of players tweeted that it was kind of shitty, but nobody really came out and disgraced him at all. I feel like, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. Did you even know Shannon Sharp was on TV until this happened? Because I didn't.
I try to stay away from Skip Bayless as much as I possibly can, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't even know that they had a show until all this happened. So I knew Skip Bayless was on, but I didn't know that his partner was Shannon Sharp. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a cool idea. I could see why it'd be cool for the guys. It's maybe a little bit too close to training camp for a coach and a GM to be like super, super comfortable with, because they said you go out there, rip up a hammy, you're going to miss training camp maybe, and you're not dialed in for the start, but you got to hang out with some pretty cool guys. I bet you the parties there are pretty wild.
Kelsey and Kettle, those guys are just probably tearing it up right now.
And that dude from the Packers, what was his name? Jake.
I know you're talking. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now.
He used to, like, him and George Kittle were roommates like after his rookie season.
The one who should have got the Pro Bowl nod last year instead of Evan Ingram, right?
Yeah, he got
Corbin. No,
I don't remember. I don't remember his name, but yeah, I mean, the guy had like 10 tutties. So
yeah, totally. That was a big letdown in the Pro Bowl votes.
Right. Well,
Tunyon, that's his name.
Tunyon, yeah.
There you go. Was that Liam that scored that, or did you just come up with that?
That was all me, man. That was CTE kicking in a little late there. Flashbacks.
Jeez.
Holy hell.
Got to get you one of those padded helmets when you're out there.
Yeah.
All right. So Kalen brought up something just before we came on, so we decided why not talk about it, because it's going to happen in like 2 years, so we might as well get it out of the way now. I haven't seen a lot of it. I saw a couple of pictures, but it seems like the NFL is going to allow teams to start wearing their throwback helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know that there was a rule that they couldn't.
Yeah, that was like one of the only rules that they kind of carried over from the previous, when they started doing these Nike jersey revamps. They were allowing teams to kind of float their jersey combinations a little bit more. You still have to let the NFL know way in advance what you're doing as your combinations. I don't know why. But that one thing you couldn't change your helmet. You couldn't go to anything else. It was so dumb. If you made a modification to your helmet, it had to stay like that for like 5 years or something like that. And that's like why the Colts got stuck with having remember the gray face mask they had there? Oh, that was ugly as sin. But yeah, and they ended up to change. But yeah, you have to stay with it for 5 years or something. So now they're going to allow them to have these interchangeable helmets, but I think the rules are the same. They're going to have to let them know way in advance. You can't have like back-to-back games or something like that. Stupid NFL rules, right?
What? So yeah, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, why would it matter what color your helmet is?
Why does it matter if your socks are properly pulled up? That's
uniform standards. That's uniform standards. So.
Uniform standards is the answer then, Shane.
No, if it's a nicely polished alternate helmet, what difference does it make? Yeah, Roger Goodell probably like pukes every time he sees Oregon run on the field then, because they change their helmets at halftime sometimes.
At halftime, that's right, or in between quarters, right?
Yeah.
There's certain fan bases that are hyped about this, though. And Chad, your fan base, we were talking about, you didn't sound like you were too happy about it, but the Buccaneers fan base can't wait to see that swashback back up there.
Yeah, that explains you why people in Florida are stupid.
Jeez.
Do you know how bad we were when we were creamsicle orange?
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. Nobody does. That's what they're just looking at, like, oh, that's cool. Nobody remembers because there was no fans back then, right?
Yeah, I remember.
That's right.
I used to get gifts from my family in Florida who didn't watch football. They only watched NASCAR, so they didn't know how bad Tampa Bay was.
Chad,
they would send me this stupid pirate. It was a metallic orange jacket. Kids were mean.
Yeah.
Like, they used to call them the fucking ears.
No.
I was 7.
Chad, imagine if your favorite team was so horrible that they had to move out of the city that they were in, And they're even worse now that they are hanging on to their old history and wearing uniforms of a team that doesn't even exist anymore. Could you imagine being in that kind of a position?
I know exactly what team you're referring to, and
It's not Tampa.
It's not Tampa.
Is it the Titans?
Yeah, hey,
No, it's the Oilers.
Yeah,
Well, I was trying to think. I was trying to be smart there, and I was trying to think. Don't the Colts aren't they're in Indy, but like didn't Baltimore have them or something like that? I can't remember how that went down.
yeah, and Baltimore would never wear a Colts jersey, and the Baltimore.
Could you imagine if they did though? Like that would be such a power play.
Yeah, and
Like Indy comes into Baltimore and they just dress up as the Colts.
yeah, like the current Baltimore Ravens are the old Cleveland Browns. Could you imagine if they just rolled out in Browns uniforms one day? Like, hey guys, let's remember the past. It's only the owners that are having an identity crisis and they're trying to transition into being Oilers again. I don't really understand what they're trying to do.
It's difficult for teams that have moved because if you've retired players' numbers and have history with certain players like Warren Moon, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to have to represent that history.
Yeah, you put his name on the wall. Done.
Yeah, happens.
Oh, it is on the wall. Now, I'll tell you the helmet that I'm excited for, and this fan base is really hyped up for it too. It's the Vince Papale Eagles. Remember that helmet with the wings on it? The silver wings?
Yeah.
I think that one looks pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that they weren't allowed to do it, but I don't know. I don't know. First of all, I don't know how why this even came up to get approved. Second of all,
What's the NFL?
I don't know why it's like, okay, we've come to a decision. 16 months from now, and hold on to your seats, guys. You can wear different helmets. Let's go. Let's do this. Like, wow.
Well, I mean, if anything, though, when they gave the players the jersey number option, more opted into it. I thought a few were going to do it, but I think more opted into it than you thought were going to do it, Shane.
For sure.
And especially because they have to pay for everything that they're doing, right?
Sure.
But I think if anything, I think the teams are going to float this helmet interchangeable thing a lot. Honestly, I think there's going to be quite a few uniform changes in the future.
I don't know. Yeah, there's something to be said for history, and history matters. But stop trying to hold on to something that doesn't exist.
So are you taking shots at the Titans again?
I could take a shot at the Titans. I mean, it's not like the Eagles won a Super Bowl in those uniforms or the Bucks won this. Like, if you had, so here's an and we're talking about a different sport here, but here's an exception. Our Blue Jays had an identity crisis from 1994 until
identity crisis
until 2014 or 2015 when they decided to come back. But at least they're coming back to this logo, these uniforms. At least they won a series in it. They won a couple of them. At least they're going back to something that's like a winning culture. Not like they were called the Yuccaneers. How many games in a row did they lose?
No, the fucking ears is what this is called it. But yeah. There's a book. I have a book called "We Are the Yucks." We started 0-29. That's how our franchise started.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that. Why would you celebrate that?
Yeah.
Even more, I can't wait to see that swash up there, buddy.
Yeah.
There is a winking pirate biting a sword. Why was that the logo you chose?
It looks like Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. It looks like a Disney character.
They figured it out.
Do you think he comes out and does a coin flip? Little Captain Jack comes out and does the coin toss?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why the NFL would approve this now. They should be approving it for this season. But basically they're saying we need 16 months to get all the merchandise ready. So you can't do anything until we can officially make money. And I mean, it kind of goes to the same thing like what they're doing for the scouting combine. Yeah, they're going to start shopping the scouting combine around to different markets to see who can generate the most coin. And I mean, it's going to be Vegas or Dallas.
I was just saying, it's going to be. I think it's going to be Vegas. Every year it's going to be Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be is it going to be like the Olympics? You have to bid on it 10 years in advance or something?
Well, that's what the draft is. You got to bid on the draft. And you got to bid on the Super Bowl. So it's only the next thing, right?
It's wild.
No one wants the Pro Bowl, though. I can tell you that much. No one cares about that thing.
Yeah, well, I think you get stuck with the Pro Bowl, right? Like nobody wants it, but like someone has
Oh.
to take it.
You finished last this year, Pro Bowl.
Just bring back the
Yes,
skill
man.
comp.
Yo,
That's all
that is
everybody cared about.
That's a great idea. If you have the worst record, you get the first overall pick, but you have to host the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Well, it's
So-
always warm in Jacksonville.
No, hey, the Pro Bowl this year is in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are going to be bad, historically bad.
Oh, Motor City Dan Campbell's going to have them out there biting on kneecaps, taking out other knees. He's bringing a live animal to the sidelines. They're going to win at least 2 games.
No, they are going to be the first team ever to go 0-17.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they have nothing
The
out
first
there.
year that's
They don't even have
available.
anything to hold on to.
So you're
inaugural-
saying there's a better
inaugural
chance
season
of
of
the Lions going 0-17 than the Titans going 17-0?
They're going to lose a game.
16-1, sorry.
Yeah, 16-1. Yeah,
16-1.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to assume that all the starters are going to sit out week 17 just because we're going to be ready for our Super Bowl run.
That's right. That's the
Which-
way of the game.
Always ends on wildcard weekend, but that's beyond the point, I guess.
And again, this year, isn't it? I think that the last game is an NFC opponent too, so it's like it could potentially be completely meaningless, right?
Yeah, most Titans games to me are pretty meaningless.
Oh,
But
Yes, no.
hey, you know what? I'm actually going to a Titans game before you are. So
Yeah.
I will be at CenturyLink when
Are you going to wear a Houston Oilers helmet?
I might have to, honestly, like just to fit in. I want to make sure that I'm part of the crowd. I got to feel the culture. So I'm gonna support the Houston Oilers when I get down there. Maybe get a Warren Moon like T-shirt jersey.
That's a hell of an offensive game you're going to see. DK, AJ, Julio, Derrick Henry, Tyler Lockett, Russell, Thrill,
I'm gonna be drinking.
moonshots for fucking days, Chad.
Yeah, on your DBs. Just remember that.
Yeah.
And then
let's-
after you guys get lit
Seattle's
up,
got
you're
some
going to
friggin'
see.
talented
That'll be the
secondary.
only time I'm screaming moonshots is on the show after that.
Yeah, just wait until I'm live stream screaming from the stands when the Seahawks are toasting them. But yeah, so let's talk about moonshots for a second because we talked a little bit of Lamar Jackson's contract, but it's starting to break now that Baker looks like he's going to get the deal before even Josh Allen does. So it's looking like Baker is the market setter for this season's quarterback class, which I mean. I don't even know how to feel about that. I don't want to overreact because
I'm sure GMs are happy.
But yeah, I mean, in Buffalo, like I don't think that what Baker gets paid should impact Josh Allen's contract. It might. I mean, who knows? But what class does Baker Mayfield land in to set the market for the other guys?
Well, you guys do have to remember though, this is the first hit on a quarterback. You may not like him a whole lot, Shane, and I don't like him a whole lot either because he came from.
I didn't say
I do. I think he's great.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I thought that the pick was good. I'm just saying, if I was Josh Allen, I would think that I would be the market setter, not Baker Mayfield.
Sure, but they don't have the money right now to put that out there, do they? Cleveland seems to always have money. But anyway, I was going to say, if Baker's like, it's the first time in a long time Cleveland's had a hit on a quarterback, I think that they're going to drop a lot of money into Baker. And I don't have a problem with that, but they went through a lot of quarterbacks to get to him. Those were dark years. They invested a first-round pick in a 27-year-old quarterback. Right? Like, those were some really rough years there. So I think that he could have a pretty solid deal, and I don't think that's that. But Josh Allen has already come out and said he's going to take a discount, right? He said that 3 times now.
Yeah, he can say that, but wait until he starts to see the dollars on the page, because he can say whatever he wants to say, and yeah, he wants to be in Buffalo.
Man. I don't know. He could be that player.
Man,
Yeah, we get to know your worth.
yeah, like I enjoy my job, but I wouldn't take a discount to work there.
So that being said, the greatest quarterback of all time, who's currently on your team, Chad, took discounts his entire career in New England. He knew his worth.
Yeah,
but
he
it's not
also
even
knew his
true.
worth would have put the team at a
First off, he
competitive
took
edge.
discounts on paper. That guy was getting paid left, right, and center. And
100%.
if he retires tomorrow, he gets paid for the next 3 years still that no one sees as off the books.
Yeah,
So he's not taking discounts. It just gets pushed on. It's like the
Yeah.
Bobby Bow treatment. So
Oh,
it's
he
not that
certainly
they're
took
playing for
discounts.
discounts.
Salary signing bonuses you can certainly spread out over a cap hit, but Tom Brady was known to take discounts in New England. Not just a
Restructure.
paper
No, he
discount.
was restructuring.
He wasn't doing the Steve McNair restructure 4 times over. He did that in the last 2 years of his career there. Up until that
he
point,
had
up
far
until
more
that-
sense than Steve McNair.
First off,
but-
don't ever put Steve McNair in the category of Tom Brady.
the reason
That's
I put
the
that
biggest
there is because of
insult
the
we've
Titans
ever
thing,
heard.
Chad. The reason he left Tennessee was because he pushed his signing bonus back 4 times to the point that we couldn't afford it anymore, and he got
He
shipped off to
couldn't
Baltimore.
fucking tie Tom Brady's shoe.
Oh, Jesus. That wasn't the point. I was doing a personal reference that I knew. So,
Yeah,
anyway.
okay.
So, I don't know. I don't know where I was going to go with that anyway.
What do you think Tom Brady's earnings are in his football career?
Are we talking salary-wise or are we talking endorsements? Because those are obviously 2 different things.
No, let's just talk salary right now.
Oh,
We don't see endorsements.
probably closer to 500.
Liam, do you mind looking that up for us? Tom Brady, yeah, he's already on it. He already knows what we're doing.
Yes.
What do you think his average salary per season that he's been in the league?
Between 17 and 20. Salary, not signing bonus. Salary.
Well, no, signing bonus is definitely a part of it because it's always going to be a part of it. It's part of everyone's annual value right now, so you can't take out that.
Sure, I can, because your salary bonus is only for the 1 year. But he always had a lower salary
No,
cap. He always had a lower salary
It's
number.
spread. Like Dak Prescott got a huge contract, and his annual value is around 40. That includes the
Shane, I'm
signing
not
bonus
saying
spread
anything
out.
out of the question. Tom Brady was known to take discounts his entire career in New England. They didn't need to have offense. They had great defense there.
Just
it wasn't
wait
until he wanted to get paid at the tail end of his career, and New England
Liam's
wasn't going
ready.
to pony up that he went down to Tampa.
Okay,
Liam's
so
ready.
base salary for this from 2000 to now is looking at 75 million with 190 million in bonuses.
So base salary 75 million over 21 years.
What's his cap hit though? That's the secret. Because all that money's just being pushed. I literally watched the whole show on it like New England's still paying him off the books.
So Tom Brady cap number is 299 million,
$300 million.
300 million. Cash paid 311 million.
311, and how many years is his career?
That's up 22 years.
Yeah, but you got to remember they weren't making more than
So
$7 or $8 million.
$13.5 million is his average salary then? Is what
Wow.
I'm doing out there. I'm telling you, man, he took crazy discounts. And then he wanted to get paid at the end of his career or end of his time in New England, and they weren't going to do it. Went to Tampa, who was going to pay him. And now he took another discount. It's what he does.
He did though. He took it on the books.
In this
all he
situation,
doing
in
there
that scenario, you're right. He pushed it. He added voided years to his contract and pushed it.
Yeah, and he did the same thing every year. The last 6 years of his contract, like fucking Dylan New England did the same thing. Every time he restructured.
He took
When you're 38 years old, all you're going to do is push that money further because you know at any day that could be over.
What I'm talking
Right.
about is when it came up to re-sign, he always took a below market value contract in order to help the team out. Always.
Yeah. It's untrue, but we're going to move on because we were in the middle of talking about Baker Mayfield. So, like I said, what do you see Baker Mayfield's contract looking like?
I would say realistically, he's going to be in that 35 to 38 range a year.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of
They have
money.
to. They have to. How can they not? For the reasons you said earlier, Kalen.
Yeah, that's just so
It's
much
been
money
20
to hear. And
years.
it's just because of the boost in the salary cap. That's all it is. That's why it's so much money to hear.
Right.
But like, is he going to get 40? No. The
Why?
only quarterback that's up for any kind of real money is Josh Allen. Like I could see him pushing that 45 range.
He's so
For
good.
this, like, his Buffalo hasn't had quarterbacks either.
Yeah. You think Josh Allen gets paid like Patrick Mahomes does?
It's close. I think he'd be 45. I don't think he'll hit the 500 mil, but I could see him getting that 45 or 7, 45 after over 8. They could go 10 years. Like he does enjoy being in Buffalo,
A lot.
but like you gotta remember, $45 million a year is a lot today. in 10 years, it's not that. It's going to be the going rate of a quarterback. It is probably going to get restructured before they even get there.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's crazy. It's just so nuts to hear. When they start talking about DBs getting paid like $28 million and shit.
Yeah, you want to hear something nuts to hear? So this is kind of going off top. Well, not really. It's still NFL related. So Brandon Jacobs has a son, and I saw Chad posted this on our Instagram today. So Brandon Jacobs
the one who wants to come back to the NFL.
Yeah. So
because his son's pushing him.
I'm gonna tell you that his son is currently 6'4" and 264 pounds. But I want you to tell me how old he is.
6'4", to what?
264.
That's bigger than Derrick Henry, man.
So that's the size that Brandon Jacobs was when he was drafted to the NFL.
This kid's 14.
14 years old.
He's 14?
Yeah.
High school freshman.
Dude, he's bigger than Derrick Henry. That's big, man.
Well, they're built different, in the words of our intern.
Yeah, right. What does he play?
The end. I was going to say, I honestly don't even know, but
probably
when
every
I saw
position?
that, I was like, what the fuck are we looking at here?
I mean, like that to me is
either
like
an end or a tackle.
Like
I don't know yet.
The Blind Side. That's what that would look like to me. The movie, right? When the kid's just pushing everybody around, he's just so big, become bigger than everybody else. Wow. 6'4", 260?
264. Don't shortchange him like that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he took a dump.
Oh,
Go look at our Instagram. There's a picture of him. He's a monster.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next side, I just wanted to bring that up, but just want to let everyone know that I just cracked a nice ice cold jock strap. I don't want to get chirped for drinking vitamin water anymore.
Who chirped you?
But at the last show, there's a couple guys like, Shane's drinking water. Like,
oh.
Yeah, there's weed in that bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not drinking water. All right. The puck's about to drop over here, but I got a little bit engaged into the NBA game last night. I'm not going to pretend I'm not a big NBA guy. I'm not going to pretend like I'm jumping ship here. But is what is happening in the NBA with these four teams, is it drawing a lot of new fans? And this is a bonus question. I didn't even put this on there because I didn't want you guys to think about it. Is Trey Young the new Steph Curry?
Do you want me to go? Okay, so
whoever wants to go can go.
I don't watch basketball.
Okay, so I'm not ready to call Trey Young a superstar yet. I can't go there yet with him, so I'm not going to say he's.
I think he dropped 50 yesterday.
Yeah, I know he's really good, but I'm not ready. But now, to your first question, did you see what the ratings are right now? How much they're up?
No, I didn't.
They're up 32%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They said they are averaging more than 1.5 million viewers the whole game.
Yeah, like it's once LA got knocked out, once Braun was gone, everything, like you had these young guns. Booker is another kid that I just can't call a superstar yet, but he's a fucking good all-star. And now that CP3's coming back, that series is going to get even better. Like,
I got Chris Paul tonight to get over 17.5 points. And like, I think he might have that halftime. Like, I'm pretty sure that if Chris Paul has any effect the way that John Rahm did, like, this guy is going to be a COVID superstar and come out there. He might drop 50 tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see the alley-oop last night with Trey?
It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's basketball, man. That's what playoff basketball should be like. None of that whining, flopping crap.
Well, and okay, I was going to say that too, because like I actually noticed that the games were a lot better. And I think the fact that it's not like such a circus and there's not a guaranteed who's going to win, you don't really know exactly what the outcome of the game is going to be. That's probably why they're getting the same ratings that like the first week of the preseason the NFL will get. And
all these kids still have so much to prove. Oh, I see. Yeah, I hear what you said. Yeah. No, well, I mean, they averaged 1.5 million people watching the game. Like, come on, that's I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful. Get that ball rolling, right?
But like that literally is less than an NFL preseason crowd.
No, Shane, they had 1.5 million more than the conference was last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
No, they're the four. They peaked at 5.2 million households, and 4 and change the whole time.
Well, that's probably a little bit more than.
So a regular season NFL game.
Yeah, but either way, yeah, no, it's better. Good for them.
Between the Browns and Lions.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. And if the Raptors can do something with the 4th pick, they might actually be in pretty good shape. But
they need to put like all their weight in to push up for that number 1. If Detroit has come out and said they're willing to trade it, man.
What would the Raptors have to trade? And then you're gonna get this Chade Cunningham guy who, I mean, what is he gonna do in the NBA? Like why are you so sold on him?
I think he's the only prospect that I can be sold on right now. He has everything. He's
Jalen Suggs is a home run, and Evan Mobley. The Raptors have never had a center like that. If they got that guy, the game is different for them. He's 7'2".
It's not. What would be different for them?
The game is different for them. Point guards can drop, and they can actually start doing a little bit of dunk city.
It's not the Raptors' game. It hasn't been in 20 years.
That's probably why they're picking 4th.
The arch.
The Raptors' game that got them into picking 4th. The Raptors' game is banking on Pascal Siakam, and I mean, sorry guys, that's not going to happen. So they're gonna there's no way they're trading up for the 1st pick. They're probably going to end up with Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga, and they're going to really enjoy that. But it probably means that a guy like Kyle Lowry's out the door.
Oh, he's already gone out. He's gone. I think he's
before the game still hasn't quite dropped the puck. So you still have a time to rush over to CoolBet and make your bet on the Golden Knights. But how do we feel? How do we feel right now about this goalie carousel? I know we talked about it a little bit, and you guys were both wrong the last time. Marc-Andre Fleury went in, but he lost. Even though he lost, I thought that they were going to stick with him. I didn't think that they'd be doing the flippy-floppy. But if you're Leonard right now, what's your mindset?
Don't lose.
Don't lose? Hey, that's a good one.
So, but what mindset can you have? Your back's against the wall. Very vocal about the whole Fleury situation the first time. I'm not going to just cycle back to 3 days ago. My beliefs haven't changed. I don't believe in what they did. I think they did mess up the psych. It is what it is. It's done with. At this point, kind of the same situation goes. If Laney wins now, you're riding him through the finals. You can't go back twice. Caitlin, I know you kept saying they did it all year. I understand what you were saying, but that's the regular season. That's where I was coming from. You've made your mind up now. Fleury lost 2 games. If Robin Lara Homer comes in and wins, you cannot go back again. You have to stick with him, I think, the whole way through, regardless of what happens next.
Okay.
To me, I think Fleury just signed his paper. The most important game of the year, you didn't put him in net. If I'm a goalie, I think that makes it pretty simple.
Right. All right. Well, really quickly, who's winning tonight?
Oh, man, I think I'm going to be screaming ole, ole, ole all night.
Well, I don't know what you and Cindy have planned, but that sounds like a lot more fun than Game 6. So,
you don't know the Canadians chants. Ole, 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 ole.
I think it's every annoying fan base's chant, just in case you were wondering.
So, does this team make you like the Canadians at all? Screw the fan bases, I get it, but do you like this team?
First of all, it was fucking 4 days ago where you were still burying them, and I said, "Are we ready to start saying that instead of they're overperforming in the playoffs, that they just underperformed in the regular season?" I have absolutely no problem with this Canadians team. They didn't knock the Penguins out. I don't care. I like Corey Perry. I like Carey Price. But no, I'm not a Canadians fan. I'm not gonna be a bandwagon dick jumper.
Well, yes, I didn't like them. They've slowly begun to win me over. I picked Vegas from the hop, so I can't leave that wagon. But I do like the Canadians. They're fun to watch, man. They're just a scrappy team, and they're really starting to push buttons here at the end after getting pushed around those first couple of games. They were some hard hits. We talked about that, but the Canadians are starting to deliver back too.
So did you take the Canadians or the Knights? You're such a politician. I never know when you're answering my questions.
I told you, picking the Knights. I picked them from the hop. I can't leave the wagon. I'm just saying I like watching the Canadian team.
feel like I'm watching a fucking Doug Ford press conference when I listen to Kalen.
Jesus.
Chad, who you got
Who do you
tonight?
think's more liked, Kalen or Doug Ford?
Well, based on that Instagram post that story you put out, like Liam is supposed to bury Kalen if they ran at each other. And here's the other thing, and I have to bring this up. So Chad makes a post. Chad runs our Going for Two account, and he votes for himself twice. He votes for himself on the Going for Two account, and then he goes over to his own and he votes for himself. And
100%. What is that called? That's calling my shot. That's confidence.
No shame.
Fucking guy. Like I was.
That being
down...
said, when I said who would have beat up Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'd pick myself. I have more faith in me running over you in a bubble ball than I do than me beating out Stone Cold.
No, I told Hudson or Hackers, which I think it was Hackers actually. He messaged us is like, yeah, Chad can't see, so if he was running at me, I would just go to the right and then body bump him on the side. It would be over for him.
And he would just fall over slowly and then roll for him.
Yeah. People are.
I think those things would be so fun for the four of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody would get rattled. That CT would be a little bit worse.
I'm in a bubble.
Yeah, that's what you're going to end up in after.
All right,
That's
so
fine.
Chad, you got the Golden Knights tonight?
I got Canadians, man. I said Carey Price since the beginning of the season. Series, sorry. I went against them the first two series, and I kept saying he was the best goalie in the world, but I didn't think they had enough firepower. They made me look stupid for two straight series, so this whole time I said I wasn't going against Carey Price, and I'm going to stand with that tonight.
Yeah, I just keep betting against them, and they keep fucking me over, so I'm going to continue to bet
keep
against them.
And eventually when you win, you can say, fuck you guys, I won.
Yeah, and we'll go to another team to just continues to fuck us over, and that's the Islanders and the Lightning. So, yesterday we had our boost, the Rays to win on the money line, and they shit stomped the Red Sox, and all we needed was Matt Barzal to score. Now, instead of scoring, he just decided to play an all-around game and have his absolute best game of the series.
Mm-hmm.
He assisted on both of the comeback goals. He was all over the ice. There was one point in time where he controlled the puck for 25 seconds by himself.
Yeah.
But he just didn't want to shoot because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that was the biggest call that I saw across Twitter. Shoot the puck. Doesn't matter. They ended up winning, right?
They did. And I mean, there's something to be said. And like, honestly, by the time it got into overtime and I realized, wow, this could actually be the last game in the Nassau Coliseum. Yeah, let's just give it to the Islanders. Fuck. Game 7's kind of cool anyway.
But who thought the game would have been that close after getting blown out that bad the game before? 8-0. An overtime? Come on. And only a 2-goal game for each team before? Oh,
what I didn't know until I saw the stat, now because they won last night, the Islanders are 4-1 in overtime this playoff.
Wow.
They
just got to keep it close, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and the Canadians, I think, are really. I think what are they for? They must be 4-1 too. I think or 5-1. I think they set their franchise record or tied their franchise record this year for overtime wins in the playoffs.
Well, they're about to drop the puck on my TV, so Chad, they'll be dropping the puck in about 3 minutes.
Talking about 5 minutes.
So I'll
you pay more for your cable.
Yeah, I'll try not to spoil it. But one thing before we continue to talk about the Islanders, we should talk about our friends over at Birdberry who sent us a little care package. So if you go to the Birdberry Golf, you can buy polos, you can buy hats. You drop Going for Two in the promo code, and they're going to give you 20% off of that order. That's pretty sweet, too.
Polos look awesome.
Yeah, they're electric.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe them. Yeah.
Yeah. And they look like they fit good. And yeah, I'm not going to say that they're like for sure going to get you laid more often, but like it looks like it might work.
Oh,
I mean,
real good, play good, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this stuff looks great. And even like there was a handwritten note in the box from the guy that runs the company. So
that's nice.
Appreciate you calling, and make sure you check out birdberry.com. Use Going for Two, 20% off. But let's go back for the Islanders and the Lightning. First of all, like if you guys watched the game, I'm sure you did. How electric was the crowd?
Oh, they're so loud, man. So loud. And they're throwing the beers on the ice at the end of the game when they won.
That was nuts.
Not many arenas that's going to happen in, and it's going to be totally tolerable. That's how it's
I don't think it was tolerable. I think they just did it anyways.
Yeah, there's about $3,000 in beer land on the ice.
Yeah.
That's retail, not by
At least
cost.
it was cans, right? Like, that's a positive.
Yeah.
Just cans.
Yeah.
Small victories.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure you could throw a plastic cup like that. I mean, I guess you could if it was all juiced up, but yeah, you'd be a sticky mess by the time you got out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Those poor fans sitting at the glass, probably. People just forget the netting's there, and they're just throwing and hucking beer cans.
Yeah.
Drop it on their face.
Yeah. They I don't know, they had to do something because the Samboni guy came out and I mean they played on the ice for about 30 seconds. So if you're gonna pay the guy to do the ice again, you might as well make it worth his while.
That's right.
It's the last time he's ever going to do it, right?
Yeah. So really quick pick for tomorrow night then. What do you think for game 7?
I got Lightning because I took them to win the cup. So
That's fine.
after the Avalanche got knocked out, I threw my money on Tampa. So
That makes sense.
got to ride with them.
There's too many Devils on the Islanders, former Devils, cheering for the Islanders there.
They play the exact same game.
Yeah.
What other team could come back from an 8-0 loss to win?
Well,
But
there was a
Devils
point where
might
they had given up 10 consecutive goals.
Oh,
And because they lost 8-0.
Yeah.
And then they scored 2. So they were able to muster it up. And I mean, they basically scored on their own net in overtime. It wasn't a good play by the Islanders. It was easy giveaway, lazy legs, see you late, whatever. I mean, it got me to bed earlier, so can't complain too much. All right. Well, I do want to continue to talk about this umpires thing. Because, you know, we talked about it, and I don't want to say that we were the first people to really talk about it, but we were. Now it's becoming a big deal for no matter what, like, high-end media show you put on, everyone's talking about it. But all the bullshit that's happening, I don't know if you guys saw it last night.
That Max Scherzer thing was crap.
Yeah.
He got checked 4 times in a game.
Rookie pitcher for the Mets yesterday, coming off the field to a standing ovation, and the ump's like, no, you cannot pass. Take your belt off. Give me your hat. Let me check your glove. Cup check. Show me your cleats. Like, give me a fucking break, buddy.
Well,
This young kid finally gets to the bigs. He's out there. He's firing BBs, feeling good about himself. Gets a standing O from in New York, of all places. And the ump's like, no. We don't celebrate here. Come over here. There's no way you did that without any ticky. Come here. And obviously didn't find anything, so whatever. It's all bullshit.
What's with Scherzer too? And so on the third or the fourth time he got checked, he started to take his belt off, and the ump stopped him. And then, did you see? He felt his hair. He took his hat off, and he's like, "Feel my hair if you want." And the ump put his friggin' hands through. It wasn't just like a quick touch. He rubbed through his sweaty scalp. Man, that is disgusting. What is this?
Do you think he sanitized after?
I hope so.
I should.
He was definitely within 6 feet. So.
But that's embarrassing. 4 times in a game. Like, I understand if this is a new rule, you do it once. Or it's kind of like the when they implemented the I can't remember what the new rule was in the NFL. Maybe it's the pass interference, and they realized they had to pull back on that, and they got rid of it altogether. Remember they had that call 2 years ago? It was like really aggressive for the first 6 weeks, and then they just completely pulled back, and then they just got rid of it altogether.
The thing is people are going to tolerate bad rules in the NFL. People aren't going to tolerate bullshit in MLB. It's already teetering. Like, the casual fan thinks the game is too long. And if you're going to stop, and obviously no one's going to cut to the break. Every TV station is going to make sure we play this.
They want somebody to get caught.
Yeah.
That's what TV wants right now.
Yeah, we're continuing to just delay the game. And, like, I mean, everyone's mad at Rob Manfred, which, like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All of these things, like, you can't be mad at the guy because the only way that he can implement these rules is if it's agreed upon by both sides. So the players' union agreed on this. The players are just whining about it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to bury Rob Manfred for this. But whatever. It's not going to change my opinion to watch the game. I have the Jays game on right now. They're up 7-0. So it seems like they're going to get kind of hot. But let's.
I do have a question about that before we go to next topic.
Yeah, next topic is the Jays anyway.
As we go on through the season, and they start checking these pitchers regularly, because by the looks of it, that's what they're going to do.
Mhm.
If you have a perfect record going into August, are they still going to harass you going into the playoffs?
100%.
Like, you think so? Like, you don't think they're like, all right, well, this guy's been clean for X amount of time?
Nope.
No.
They are going to enforce this
Thank you.
thing. Managers are going to chirp like somewhat. Yeah, like a manager chirping can affect the balls and strikes. A manager can just start yelling at the ump to go check his shit, and the ump's going to feel obligated to do it.
And it is, yeah, that's a weird thing too. Like the 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 4, whatever, with that Scherzer wasn't even called by the opposing manager. Those were straight up the umps just doing it, and then the last one was the manager saying, "Hey, go check him one more time." Ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
That's probably a
they're
joke at that point.
yeah they're trying to they're trying to catch the best pitch. I mean, Max Scherzer's basically the best pitcher of baseball right now, maybe outside of Clayton Kershaw. So they want to catch somebody like that because they wanted to make an example of somebody. So the other guys fall into line, and to my knowledge, they haven't caught anybody yet. I don't imagine that they're going to. Like,
Not since they changed the rule. They did right before.
well, yeah, of course,
Those kids,
course.
unfortunately.
yeah, of course, but they didn't have a rule. Just like they didn't have a drug testing rule back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Because the players and the players union wouldn't agree on it. So, of course, MLB gets killed for something like that, but they tried to put it in there. Just, you can't put something into a contract if both sides don't agree on it. It's a fact. So if the players don't want to do this stuff, and that's why I told you guys, I think that there's going to be some kind of a work stoppage or some kind of a delay into next season, and that's just going to be even worse for baseball.
Oh yeah. They're definitely losing steam. They've already begun to lose it.
Right. Well, whatever. It doesn't look like there's any steam going on in the hockey game yet, but let's talk Blue Jays for a second, and then our boy Otani got after it, and if we got some time after, we're gonna try and pair up some free agents that are still available in the NFL as kind of like a side dish. So George Springer's back. He's actually not playing tonight, but he's back in the lineup out of the 5 spot because, like I mentioned it, there's no way that they were ready to move Simeon out of the leadoff spot, even though George Springer has only ever led off in the major leagues. So if you were George Springer, you're coming back. He still doesn't have a hit. He's only had 2 games. We're not ready to bury him. How do you feel about batting 5th?
So, okay, you're going to have to explain this a little bit to me. So if I'm batting 1, I'm obviously known as a contact hitter who can get on base. Usually have some speed.
So that would be like old baseball. New
Okay.
baseball is the guys that are batting at the top of your order are the guys you want to get up the most. So
Okay.
So basically, like if you are 1, 2, 3 hitter, you are more likely to bat 5 times in a game
Okay.
because the order just continues to rotate through, right?
Okay, so that makes more sense why Springer would be pissed off, because I viewed it as that 1 first hitter was what I had said, and then your 4, 5, and 6 are your cleanup crew. So those are the guys you trust to get good hits or get you RBIs or at least some sort of offense. So I would that's the way I thought that must be, like you said, old baseball. So 4, 5, and 6 are just viewed as guys who aren't good offensively. You're not going to see it getting bats very much. That's it. That's the only reason there.
No. I mean, they're still going to get their at bats and they're still going to do their stuff, and they're generally going to be power guys. So, like our old 5 hitter used to be Edwin Encarnacion.
Yeah.
So he was never like an average guy. I mean, I think there was 1 year he batted over 300, but a guy like George Springer is supposed to be the best hitter on your team, and he's supposed to be the guy that you want to have the most at bats. So to me, if I was a manager, I would have my best hitter bat second all the time, and I would hope to God that they're left-handed. But that's a whole different side note that we're not going to bore you with. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, for how good the Jays are batting right now, you probably can't really just jump in there and change it up.
And that's
what it
exactly
comes
what it
down
is.
to.
Yeah, that's exactly
And,
what it is.
Simeon's, he's one of the best batters in baseball right now. He's
Right.
scoring. He's hitting home runs. He's scoring. He's getting on base. You can't take the bat out of his hand.
Yep.
And are you going to come back and throw Springer in the lineup number 2 when he hasn't swung a bat in X amount of months? I think
Right.
5's the right spot for him right away to start up. If he gets going, get some bats and contact going, get some good contact. That's what we should say. Shouldn't always have to be hits, but just good contact, clean contact. then throw him in a bad second. But until that happens, I think the 5's the right spot to get him until he's warmed up and back in the swing of things. No pun intended.
I haven't
Well,
been following his rehab or anything, Shane. Has he been like hitting well in the practices or anything at all?
I mean, what they're saying is he looks more healthy this time than he did the last time. So ultimately, like, the guy's kind of in a losing situation because Toronto sports fans are a little bit unrealistic, and he's missed 70 games probably, and we're automatically just assuming that he's injury prone because he got injured twice. So that's not something that he's had his whole season or his whole career. So it's unfair to judge him, but basically this year, statistically, he's going to be a write-off because no one's going to remember that he was out for 70 games. But the best thing that guy can do is get hot, fill in, do what you need to do. And, if you find yourself at the back at the top of the lineup, great. If not, would you rather be at the top of the lineup on a team that's going to be losing chemistry or the 5-hitter on a team that's about to make a run and get into the playoffs?
Well, yeah, and then that's where he could really become important is the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's a guy that's been there.
Yeah,
he's been there. He's done it. That's why he's there. Like I said, they're up 7-0 without him. They've pretty much done all they've done all season without him. So when he comes back and he's healthy, he's just extra. He's gravy.
he's already got paid.
Only the richest contract in franchise history, but
Right, yeah. So I mean, really, who else do you have to try and impress for another deal, right? So give me 5. I'll tell you 5. Don't worry, Skip.
We'll keep him at 5 there, and we'll keep that rolling. But last bit of baseball news for us, or baseball story that I want to share. So our boy Shohei Otani, and we have made it very clear that all three of us love Shohei Otani. Last night, pitches 6 innings, gives up 1 run, strikes out 9. I think he walked 2, but his team ends up losing in the 13th inning, 9-3.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the reason that nobody knows who Shohei Otani is. But
why would he stay there? You keep saying he's going to stay there, but why the hell would he stay?
It's not up to him.
What's that?
It's not up to him.
What do you mean?
He's got to get traded for that to happen.
When's he a free agent? Next year, right?
I have no idea.
Arbitration, man. Isn't it? Maybe you go through arbitration like the rest of them?
International free agents are a little different.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he actually has to go through arbitration, but I think that he would have team years that he has to stay there for an extra 2 years or something. But he can get paid whatever.
Well, I mean, that being said, and we've mentioned it before, players are tweeting out and they're talking about how they are tuning into games that he's playing just to see what he's going to do next. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the draw. Maybe that does draw some players to there in the free agency to play with a guy like that. I mean, it's not likely. That seems terrible, but it maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they have the 2 electric players. I mean, Mike Trout's there too. And the problem is they just never been able to build the pieces around him, and they cut bait on a guy like Pujols probably too late for everyone's liking, but too early on the season. And, they're just continuing to pay the guy. They're giving him $35 million to play for the Dodgers. So that tells you the headspace that the Angels front office is in.
Yeah, really.
They would rather pay you more than Baker Mayfield is going to get for the Browns to play for a different team.
I was just looking. He's got 1 more signed year, and then I guess he goes to arbitration 2 years from now. I don't even know so is arbitration you have to take the deal, or can you walk from the deal?
You can walk, but you can't sign anywhere else.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but in that kind of a situation, the Angels aren't ready to lose him, and they're not going to go with some kind of a stupid deal. So he's still going to get probably $30 million for each of those years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Liam, do we have a second to NFL free agents? Or are we done? Okay, so Chad sent me a list of free agents. I'm just going to read them. We're not going to place all of them, but Le'Veon Bell, we're all pretty much sure that he's not getting signed, right?
Game over.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm going to skip Duke Johnson because I don't think that anyone cares about him. But here's a big name: Justin Houston is a free agent. Where does Justin Houston best fit?
Right back in Indianapolis is where he's going, I think.
You think they're just letting him test the market and see what's up?
No, I think they're just letting him show. the off season. Don't have to sign him to a deal. Doesn't have to work out with the team. He's in the vet. I don't know.
Okay.
Things up.
Chad, what do you think? Is he going back to the Colts, or is he just going to go to Tampa?
Oh, Tampa all day.
Just
No,
gonna
I
rotate
think
pass
he.
rusher.
I think perfect. Exactly. Like him and Melvin Ingram are literally just gonna wait to see who gets injured in training camp.
Yeah.
They both know they have a job. They both know how to play football. So it's pretty simple. You're just gonna wait. You know someone's going down. You're gonna get paid. They're just taking the Javion Clowney approach to it.
Right. So if you had to place each of those guys, where are they going?
So whoever whose defensive end gets injured. I still want a Melvin Ingram in Tampa. I'm still hoping that does happen. I'll take
Yeah, I
one more
mean,
pass
if there's
rusher than-
if there's anything you guys need, it's a little bit more pass rush. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He can play the run too.
Yeah.
Justin Houston, I don't really know too much about. I don't watch a lot of AFC football, so it's hard for me to sit there and watch him. I
Yeah.
actually still thought he was in Kansas City, so that shows how much I know. I didn't even know he was in Indy, so
Yeah, I mean, I think he's bounced around the league a little bit. He's kind of a pass rusher for hire at this point. So, you know what
they're
you're
both
getting with him.
situational players, right? So
Yeah, you know what you're getting with him, and he's probably gonna, like, if he plays the whole year, he's probably good for 8 or 9 sacks. So, I think that any team would sign up for that in free agency, especially at the price you're going to get him at. What about KJ Wright? Because this one kind of surprised me. I thought for sure KJ Wright was going to be with Seattle.
Yeah, no, but then Seattle wasn't going to pay him. That's weird. Like why is he pricing himself out of that place? That's where he's successful.
I don't know. So where does KJ Wright land?
Oh, Oakland.
Oh, who's he going to play for?
Yeah, Las Vegas. Sorry. Las Vegas.
I'm the one that does that, Kalen, not you.
Yeah. I'm going to do that until I'm way gray in the face, man. I know
He
it.
had to say way gray because his beard's going gray.
Yeah, it is going gray.
All right. And then, so Chad, where is KJ Wright? Don't say Tampa.
Tampa Bay. Everybody goes there. It's retirement homes. I think Miami's a landing spot. I think they need a lot of help. They lost Van Noy, so I think bringing another guy like Wright makes sense.
Yeah.
But who knows at this point? I think as players get older in their careers, there are certain places they choose to go as well. One of those is the state of Florida and the state of Texas. Also, Arizona, you don't pay tax in.
Yep.
So if I'm on the back nine of my career, if I can get a place like that where I'm not paying income tax, I'm going to do it. So I think any of those landing spots make sense for any veteran out there.
Okay. Yeah. And then last but not least, Malik Hooker.
Oh, God. You would put him on that list, wouldn't you?
He was on the list. The list was sent to me. I am a third party here, but I am telling you that there are 2 quarterbacks in Pittsburgh that know their way around a Hooker, and a guy like Malik would fit in there nice.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Malik, I think, would do really well over in Seattle beside Jamal Adams. He'd have to
Jamal
slot.
Adams ain't even showing up.
I know. Yeah, if he does show up to play. I'd like him over there, though.
Chad, what do you think?
I have no idea. Honestly, like we made these predictions so many times for every single player. I just feel like we all struck out this year. The only thing,
Who's
I
the
think. What's that? Go ahead.
Who's Denver Broncos safety? I know it's Justin Simmons. Who's the other one there?
Aaron Rodgers.
Stop it.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. Go ahead, Chad. What were you saying, though? You struck out a lot.
Yeah, try to pick where I did. You see me play baseball, obviously. No, I think it's just playing, put them in situations. I think Pittsburgh's a landing spot. Me and Shane were talking about earlier today. I think Chicago is another landing spot that needs some help on the back end. But then these guys just want to get paid, so it's going to come down to that. I don't know if Chicago has the cap room to pick anybody up.
Yeah, so he's officially visited Miami, Dallas, and now Pittsburgh.
Yeah, when he left Dallas without a deal, that was really surprising. Because that was the first team he visited, and when I thought he went there, like That was a perfect fit for him at the time.
First hooker to ever leave Dallas without cash.
He must have talked to Jerry.
Yeah. Okay. Liam, is that good? Are we done? All right, cool. Well, if you had a question, then all right. Well, that's it. Cheers, boys. Go enjoy the rest of the game. As always, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the stuff. It's all Liam's put it all pretty on our website. And go enjoy the game. Don't forget to place a bet on CoolBet because I'm sure that the lines are moving a little bit here. And we will see you Monday. And remember, we will not be here next Thursday because it's Canada Day. And you will not want us to be in the shape that we'll be in. 100%.
You don't want to go live from Shane's backyard.
Yeah, because Chad and I will be together. Yeah, it's going to be a bad scene. Bad scene. Anyway, cheers, boys.